Good morning, gang. Guess where we are? We're home. It has been so long since we recorded anything for you, since y'all were taking a break and we took a break last week. So we're going to have to figure out where we left off. Grab your Bibles. We're going to open it up to Luke chapter 15. Now, where we left off was the story, excuse me, it's morning, so my voice isn't all the way here. But it was the story of a man that had two sons, remember? And the youngest son said, I want my inheritance now. And so the father gave him his inheritance. So that meant this boy had all this money and he went and he spent it. Remember that? And he was eating the food from the pigs because he'd run out of money and he'd lost all of his friends because those friends only liked him because he had money. So they weren't true friends. And he came back to his father and his father ran out to meet him. And he called the servants and said, put a new robe on him and go and kill the biggest calf we have. And they started to be merry. That's where we left off. So Luke chapter 15, we're going to start in verse 24, and it says, and bring hither in verse 23 it says, bring it here the fatted calf, and kill it, and let us eat and be merry. For this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. And they began to be merry. So you think, oh, that's wonderful. The family is back together again, and all the worries are in the past. But there was a big problem in that family. There were two sons, remember? And the oldest son had not gotten all of his inheritance and had not wasted it on a horrible life of sin. And he had stayed by his father and had worked at the house and had taken care of the flocks and the sheep. Let's see what his response is. So in verse 25 it says, now the elder son was in the field. He was out working. He was doing what he was supposed to be doing. And as he came and drew near to the house, he heard music and dancing. He thought, what is going on? Did I miss something? And he called one of the servants and asked what it all meant, what was happening. And he said unto him, thy brother is come, and thy father hath killed the fatted calf, and because he hath received him safe and sound. And wouldn't you think that the brother would have run? Oh, I've missed my brother so much. I have to go see him. Wouldn't that have been a good response? It's not how he responded. Verse 28, and it says, and he was angry and would not go in. So he sat down and he had a pity party. That's what happened. Do you know what a pity party is? A pity party is when you don't get your own way and you're jealous because somebody else has something that you really wanted. Or people are excited to see somebody else and not you. And so he sat down and he was angry, and I wouldn't go in. Therefore came his father out and entreated him. His father came out and said, what's going on? Come on in, join us. And he answering said to his father, lo, these many years do I serve thee, neither transgressed. I didn't sin against you at any time. And yet thou never gavest me the fatted calf, that I might make merry with my friends. You didn't do that for me. You know, life is not fair. I'm just going to put it out there. The world wants you to think that everybody has to have the exact same thing. And if that happens, that's called communism, and it's a bad thing, okay? Life is not fair. But you know what? God takes care of it. And he keeps accounts up in heaven. And he knows what we've been doing for him. Well, this father knew what that son had been doing for him all along. And so, but the pity party continues, and he says in verse 30, he says, "But as soon as thy son was come, which hath devoured thy living with in all sorts of sin, you killed for him the fatted calf. But you didn't do it for me." That's what he's really saying. "But you didn't do it for me." And he said unto him, "Son, thou art ever with me, and all that I have is thine." Everything was still belonged to that eldest son. He still had all of his money. He had all of his inheritance and more, because the father had continued to have animals and the food in the fields. So his inheritance actually grew during this time. The youngest son's was gone. It was wiped out. He doesn't get any more. And the father says, it was meet, it was how it was supposed to be, that we should make merry and be glad. For this thy brother was dead and is alive again, and was lost and is now found. How much better it would have been if that brother had just walked in from the fields and went, "You're back! Oh, we missed you so much." Knowing that his inheritance was still safe. Instead, he had to be jealous. Jealousy robs us of our joy. It robs us of a good time that we could be having, because we're jealous of someone else, and so we have to be pitiful and we have to look so sad, hoping that somebody would see how bad we look and come and love on us. Instead, we should be joyful when other people are being joyful. But always remember that jealousy never, ever gets you anything. It just tears you down. It doesn't hurt anybody else. It just hurts you. So don't be jealous of other people. And remember that God keeps account of what we do, just like this father did. He knew what the oldest son had been doing all along, but he was just thrilled to have his family back together again. So we need to remember today, as I sit here in my rocking chair, we need to be joyful for other people and not be jealous like that oldest son. I love you. I can't wait to see you. Maybe today we'll get together. You have a great day, though. Bye-bye.